Hello, everyone, and good evening. I wanted to extend a very warm welcome to the Celebrate CJE 2020 event. We are so happy that you can be with us tonight. And as a way of making everyone feel a little more connected, I wanted to let you all know about a special feature where you can leave comments for the whole group or even someone individually. If you look at the bottom right of your screen, you'll see the word chat, where you can click on that button and connect with your friends. Thank you so much for being with us tonight. We're thrilled to have you, and I look forward to seeing you shortly. Thanks.
It's late March, and the Celebrate CJE leadership team is on its first Zoom planning call.
I want to welcome you to the first Celebrate CJE Zoom. As co-chair, I want to introduce my other co-chair, Allan Goldstein. Allan, I can't see you.
Hi, Susan. I can't seem to get my video turned on. Which button does that?
The one on the left. No, the one on the left. You're muting yourself. To the left, to the left.
Can you hear me okay? I'm zooming and driving at the same time.
That's because you are so young, you can still multitask.
I can still multitask too. Look, I'm texting and zooming.
Hi, guys. Excuse my clothes. I just got back from golf. Our kids won't let us fly home yet, and so we're making the best of it.
And I'm in Santa Fe. Can you see my beautiful scenery? We drove out here. It took a week, and we slept in our car, but boy, was it worth it.
Okay, you made us jealous. It is raining here, and it feels like February. Typical spring day in Chicago.
Marcia, please don't bother me now. I'm on a CJE Zoom. Later, honey. Sorry, guys. My wife wanted my attention.
Guys, can we focus? If we can't do a Zoom meeting, how can we possibly do a virtual fundraiser?
Or a virtual ad book.
Or virtual tables for sponsors.
You are
muted.
What did you say?
How far we have come from those early days. After several months of learning how technology can keep us connected, we are thrilled to welcome you to CJE's first virtual Celebrate CJE. Fingers crossed, we will all be together in the same room for our next year's event. What a year this has been for our beloved seniors who have been hit especially hard by this pandemic. And what an amazing job CJE SeniorLife is doing every day, in every way, to care for them and their families. In mid-March, we had to learn how to carry out our mission in new, innovative ways. Upon reflection, the operative word for this unprecedented time is pivot. To prevent the spread of a highly contagious disease, our staff had to quickly pivot from in-person counseling sessions to telehealth and phone check-ins for vulnerable seniors in the community, including a couple thousand Holocaust survivors. At Lieberman Center in Skokie and at Weinberg Community in Deerfield, the frontline workers had to undergo complicated training on how to keep residents and staff safe by properly utilizing masks and other personal protective equipment, practicing physical distancing, and monitoring temperatures several times daily. Many new guidelines and restrictions were implemented based on best practices from leading health authorities. Our residents and family members had to pivot to limitations placed on personal visits. A heartbreaking situation, learning instead how to FaceTime, Zoom, and Skype. Window visits have become the new normal. Our community engagement and activity staff had to pivot away from group education classes and create online programming for many different senior populations, including those who could no longer attend our adult day services, which has been closed temporarily. Thanks in large part to the help of the Jewish Federation COVID-19 Emergency Action Fund and supporters like you, we could pivot as needed to tackle the evolving and extraordinary challenges we have faced in this past year. We are grateful that you have joined us tonight to celebrate and honor our CJE heroes. Instead of big name entertainment, Tonight, you will have the pleasure of hearing from several of the talented employees who work for CJE. I would now like to introduce our very own Rabbi Michelle Stern, who oversees CJE's Religious Life Department.
Holy One of blessing, we join together with an abundance of gratitude to celebrate the commitment and work of those who are directly caring for our clients and residents. Nurses, aides, and medical staff, housekeeping and engineering, laundry, dietary, and transportation staff, life enrichment, social workers, therapists, administrators, religious life, and so many more who come to work each day. Keep them healthy and safe always. Galui v'yadua lifnei kisei chivodecha, for it is known and revealed before you that without them, CJE could not continue to elevate our elders with dignity and compassion, advocating for them in these most uncertain times. We ask that you join us in blessing them with our eternal gratitude and love. We pray that you bring an end to all suffering and pain as we sing words from our tradition, calling out for healing. It says in the book of Numbers, Ana elna rafana la, please God, bring healing. Ana elna, Ana elna, Ana elna, rifana la, Ana elna, Ana elna, Ana elna, rifana la, Ana elna, Ana elna, Ana elna, rifana la.
My name is Susan Ringel Segal, and I am the co-chair of Celebrate CJE along with Allan Goldstein. I would now like to introduce Dan Fagin, who has been the president and CEO of CJE SeniorLife for the past 2 years.
CJE SeniorLife is facing an unprecedented challenge with the COVID-19 pandemic, one we were somewhat prepared for but hoped we would never have to encounter. It has transformed the way we live, work, communicate, and even care for our residents and clients. The pandemic has really brought home the value of knowing our purpose as an organization. When I first joined CJE just over 2 years ago, I don't think I fully appreciated what it meant to be purpose-driven, even though we have been since our founding almost 50 years ago. Every year in this role, I am grateful to have such clarity about why we exist, to enhance the quality of life and facilitate independence of older adults, but never more so than now. So how do we go about achieving that purpose? CJE SeniorLife is one of the most comprehensive providers of services for older adults in Greater Chicago. From our humble beginnings as a small social service agency focused on serving Rogers Park, today, more than 800 people call home one of CJE's residential communities, spanning the entire continuum of care, from skilled nursing to independent and assisted living, memory care, and affordable housing apartments. Our newest community, Tamarisk North Shore, just opened in Deerfield, and when fully occupied will be home to more than 250 adults 65 and older looking for maintenance-free living, socialization, dining, and engagement in a beautiful independent living community. Through our home and community-based programs, we deliver meals, provide counseling, consumer assistance, and care management services, and engage with hundreds of older adults and their family members every week. Holocaust Community Services provides much needed financial assistance, counseling, and caregiving services to 2,000 of the most vulnerable members of our community. All told, we serve more than 20,000 clients and their families every year. And while it is true that many of our services support those with a financial need, those with the means to pay should consider CJE as well. We are there, wherever there might be, when needed, and have the array of services that allows us to work with clients and families over many years. We meet them where they are. Among our highest priorities is protecting and supporting our frontline healthcare professionals and support staff. These staff are making sacrifices every day, working under the most difficult circumstances, and deserve our full support. That is why we are honoring them and every CJE team member tonight at our first ever virtual Celebrate CJE. I'm extremely proud of the innovative work and dedicated commitment our team members exhibit daily while caring for each other and the communities we serve. And finally, a heartfelt thank you to those of you joining us tonight, our most committed supporters. We cannot do what we do at CJE without you. Your encouragement, support, and donations of time and money are a necessary ingredient in the recipe that makes CJE work. We value your partnership and look forward to continuing our sacred work together.
I would now like to introduce two very special speakers, Alex Cohn-Markovich, who will be interviewing her grandfather, Ernest Fruhoff. Alex is the manager of investor relations for Wind Point Partners, a Chicago-based equity firm. Originally from Munster, Indiana, Alex has always had a strong interest in spending time with and helping older adults, driven by the influence her grandparents have had on her life. Alex has a very close relationship with her grandparents, Ursula and Ernest, and first became acquainted with CJE SeniorLife when they moved to the Weinberg community for Senior Living's Gidwitz Place. In her spare time, she serves on CJE's associate board and is a volunteer for CJE's Friendly Caller program. Alex resides in Chicago's Westtown neighborhood with her husband Omri and little dog Doobie. Ernest was born in Germany and escaped in 1941 with his parents and siblings. They eventually settled in Green Bay, Wisconsin, where his father opened a bakery. Ernest attended the University of Wisconsin and after graduation worked as an engineer for 37 years at Standard Oil, now BP, of Indiana. He's been married to his beloved Ursula for almost 67 years. They have 3 daughters, 5 grandchildren, 2 of whom are married, 2 great-grandchildren, and 1 on the way. In 2017, he and his wife moved to Gidwitz Place, where, in non-COVID times, Ernest is a participant in their Resident Ambassador program, in which he helps new residents settle in and familiarize themselves with their new home, a very valuable service.
Hi, Grandpa.
Hello, Alexi, dear. How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm hanging in there.
Excellent, excellent. Thanks for joining on this Zoom with me. I was hoping that you could tell us a bit about why you decided to leave Munster and how you chose to move to the Weinberg community at Gidwitz Place.
We had in Munster a 7-room house. It required a fair amount of work. It also had a number of steps, and your dear grandma, my wife Ursula, had to be very careful in terms of getting in and out of the building and going around this large 7-room home. And we were getting older. We've been very happy here.
Can you tell us about some of the poems that you wrote to Grandma while she was in rehab after breaking her leg earlier this year?
So when Ursula fell down here, she was recovering. And I thought, well, I kind of missed her, you know. It's when you're married almost 67 years now, you get a little lonesome when your wife isn't around. And I knew she would feel better if she heard from me now and then, other than just for a visit. So I wrote her little poems, you know, just little things to make her feel good.
So before this pandemic hit, what were some of your favorite things about living at Gidwitz Place?
They had all kinds of interesting programming here. They had 2 or 3 rabbis coming by, giving lectures on various subjects, conducting services. We had music programs, groups coming in, singing, instrumentalists. I mean, there was something going on every day, all day. So it certainly kept us busy.
Throughout this pandemic and being in quarantine, you've had to get adjusted to some new technology. At 91 years old, it's quite impressive.
I'm glad they've developed all this technology so I can see your face and talk to you. So it's really, you try to make the best of it, you know, being isolated in this very, very nice home.
Are there programs within Weinberg that are put on that you're able to join via Zoom or the TV?
Yeah, actually, we have news programs here. We have exercise programs. They also have programs on Channel 15. We have the services of Rabbi Stern, who is on the staff. She has given lectures on Jewish subjects. She's also come around every Friday afternoon, going from floor to floor, singing Shabbat songs. We've had occasional Friday night and Shabbat morning services. There are things going on all the time. Unfortunately, now we can go outside. It shows that, you know, the staff and really the organization are trying to do the best they can that the law and conditions will allow, but to try to satisfy the needs of the 130-some people in this home.
Are there certain programs at Weinberg that you're looking forward to continuing?
We have discussion groups. We have people who lead those things. There is Sashi Kraft who comes in every week. There's a couple of rabbis like Rabbi Walken, retired from Beth Shalom, who comes over here periodically, gives us the latest in Jewish news. We have others coming in giving lectures. We were part of what is called the ambassador program. So when new families moved in or a new individual, my wife Ursula and I would meet the people and try to help them out to get settled here, to let them know about what programs they have, to help them get make this their new home.
What are you looking forward to the most when this pandemic ends, or at least eases?
For the world to open up again in terms of, normalcy, where we can hopefully get back in my car and come over and drive and visit you and maybe see your some God willing, after September, your larger family. In the meantime, we have to do our best to keep going and thank God for keeping us alive. And CJE too, because they've done a super job of keeping us all well, which is really the number one priority here. It was a pleasure talking to you, even if only by Zoom.
I know, I was going to say, I love seeing you on Zoom, even better in person, but
Right.
I'll absolutely do for now.
Right.
As long as I get to see your face.
Okay, so all the best.
I love you.
Yeah, love you too.
CJE SeniorLife has been enriching the lives of older adults and supporting family caregivers for almost 50 years. For older adults and their families, this pandemic presents many challenges. Feelings of isolation, a disruption in routine, the need to access healthcare services and make social connections through technology, and more. CJE continues to provide essential services for older adults and their families. Together, we've made such a big impact, but our work isn't done yet. Our generous donors make everything we do possible. Thank you for donating today to help us continue to carry out our mission and meet the urgent needs of older adults during this unprecedented time.
Alyssa Quinlan is the Chief Business Development Officer at Hinman Auctions, based in their Chicago headquarters. Hinman is recognized internationally as a leading fine art auction house with 12 offices across the country. Alyssa enjoys staying involved with local and national organizations, where she has served as a charity auctioneer for charitable organizations including CJE, Special Olympics, University of Chicago, Cancer Research Foundation, Misericordia, and Chicago's Home and Aid, to name a few. We are so pleased to welcome Alyssa, who is live from our CJE corporate office at the Bernard Horwich JCC.
Thank you so much, Allan, and hello again, everyone. You know, normally I'd be in the room with more than 500 of you for such a special and important night, where I'd be encouraging you all to raise those paddles high and to bid high and bid often. But as we all know, these are anything but normal times. So I'm especially honored to be here with you all virtually. And I want to give a special thanks to our co-chairs, Susan Ringel Segal and Allan Goldstein, for what is truly such a special evening that I know has taken a lot of effort to get here. With all that's going on around us, your support is more important and more needed than ever. So I want to thank you in advance for digging deep and remembering just how important every donation is, no matter what the size is. Tonight, we're going to be doing a Fund a Need, and you'll be able to make a bid in one of many different ways. You can text your gift to the number 52014 with the hashtag or # Celebrate CJE 2020. You can dial the number on your screen where volunteers are excitedly waiting to take your call. It's kind of like the old telethon days of the past. That number is 773-508-1323. You can make a gift online at the address shown, which is www.cje.net/donate. You can mail in your check, or you can even scan the QR code with your phone. So plenty of ways to give tonight, and more important than ever. So with that, I feel like it's easy to wonder what's going on these days, and I am here to reassure you that CJE is doing everything possible to care for older adults who are more at risk during this crisis. The agency has spent over $500,000 on PPE to keep residents, clients, and staff safe, and we're happy to report that for several weeks now, our Weinberg campus has been COVID-free, and Lieberman Center has seen only a few new cases. But due to the pandemic, there are fewer residents at Lieberman and Gidwitz Place, and the adult day services programs are temporarily closed. As a result, that means that the agency is incurring $550,000 of losses a month, which is just staggering. $550,000 monthly. Our care managers are working tirelessly to contact, often daily, the most vulnerable clients, including calling over 1,700 Holocaust survivors. Our drivers are still delivering hundreds of meals each week to those in need in the community. As you might expect, with so many older adults unable to leave their homes, the request for these meals is increasing every day, and we really want to make sure that those adults can have those meals. In order to combat isolation for those who would normally attend education, exercise, and socialization programs, we're offering many classes and videos online. So as I mentioned, the needs are greater than ever, and our goal tonight is to raise $100,000 to honor the staff who have done such an exceptional job of minimizing the impact of the virus and to support CJE SeniorLife's more than 35 programs and services. I don't know about you, but I know that we can do this. It's going to take a lot of effort and we need to come together, but we can do it. Also, as an extra bonus, later on, I'm going to randomly be picking out the name of one of CJE's frontline workers that will be gifted a 2-night stay at the beautiful downtown Chicago hotel. So you don't want to miss that. So stay tuned, where you're going to be able to watch the progress throughout the Fund a Need on the big screen. We're going to want to fill the heart up. So without further delay, let's go ahead and get started with our Fund a Need. Let's blow past that $100,000 goal together. How about it? All right, so at the $5,000 level, that's where we're going to begin. And with every donation of $5,000, consumer assistance can help a client such as Phyllis, whose husband passed away suddenly during the pandemic. It left her and her disabled son without income to cover expenses. By providing Phyllis with emergency financial assistance to make their property tax payment and helping her to apply for utility assistance, a huge financial burden was lifted from her family during a very difficult time. Each donation of $5,000 ensures that older adults in our community are able to live with dignity and respect and remain in their own homes. At the $5,000 level, here we go. All right, I'm already starting to see some bids. Thank you so much to Sharon and Mark Berman. That's terrific. Thank you to Terry Freeman. Fantastic. Thank you to Vicki and Gary Pines. Hello, everyone. Thank you, Stephen Sandler. Also donated $5,000. This is fantastic. What a great way to kick things off here. All right, let's move on to our $3,600 level next. At $3,600, During this pandemic, whether due to families being unable to cook for their loved ones or because seniors are afraid to leave their homes, CJE has added a substantial number of new clients to the home delivered meals program and 20,000 additional meals to existing clients. Just think about that number. It's incredible. For $3,600, we can provide over 500 nutritious meals through home delivered meals to people just like William. And as you guys probably imagine, the program is so much more than just a meal delivery service. It's a checkpoint. It's a human interaction with seniors every day. When William didn't come to the door one day or answer the door or his phone, his HDM meal delivery driver called his emergency contact. They then found William lying unconscious on the floor. When William arrived at the hospital, he was in renal failure with dangerously low blood pressure. He called HDM from the hospital 4 days later to say that home delivered meals saved my life. I just got chills. I don't know about you guys, but it's incredible and it means so much. At $3,600, look at this, we're already almost at halfway to our goal. I want to thank Sherry and Mark Slavin. I want to thank Eve and Rich Biller as well at $3,600. This is terrific. Okay, let's move on now to our next level, which is $1,800. Imagine how Sam at 87 felt when he stepped on the gas instead of the brakes and totaled his car. Sadly, this is something that happens somewhat regularly. Fortunately, no one was hurt, but he decided that his driving days were over. His children live far away, and now during the pandemic, he has no safe way to go to the grocery store or to medical appointments. With a gift of $1,800, CJE will be able to provide over 350 rides for individuals who no longer drive. For many older adults, finding transportation is critical to remaining independent, keeping healthy, and engaged in life. At $800, I already see some bids here. I want to thank Dan Fagin for his $800 bid and to all of our generous donors. Thank you so much. This is terrific. I wish we were all in the room together, but these bids are adding up so quickly, so thanks. All right, let's move on to our next level, which is $1,000. At $1,000, here we go. John was widowed 15 years ago, and his only son recently died, which is just so sad to even think about. John has social anxiety to begin with and has always had difficulty making friends. His wife really was his everything. He now participates in weekly psychotherapy and grief support sessions and is making progress diminishing his grief and anxiety. With the encouragement of his therapist, he's also reaching out to old friends. With a gift of $1,000, CJE could help to offer these services to anyone that comes to us for emotional support. At $1,000, let's take a look at these bids here. I want to thank Sam Brilliant. There we go. Thank you. Thank you to Jim Feldman. Fabulous. To Carol Green. Here we have Sylvia Novick and Kel Wenig. Thank you so much. This is incredible. I also see Dennis Carlin at the $1,000 level. This is terrific. Thank you guys so much. All right, let's move on to the $500 level now. With the goal of promoting independence and positive aging, 2 years ago, CJE created a care management and home care services program for older adults with limited income. 96-year-old Betty lives alone and was not eating regular meals. Again, very common. When CJE's care management team provided a caregiver, Betty said, "I just love Janet. She cooks for me like I'm a queen." Betty's nutrition has improved substantially, and she enjoys the companionship of her caregiver. She's now healthy, safe, and able to stay in her own home. I just love that story. For $500, you'll be able to ensure that an older adult has a clean, safe home environment and improved emotional and physical health. If you can give at that level, please do so, because it goes such a long way. At the $500 level, I want to give a quick thanks to Chuck Blay. Thank you. And to Abby Tempkin at $500. Thank you so much. We also see a bid here from Vern Gideon. That's terrific. And many more. Thank you, guys. Okay, moving on here. We are now to our $250 level. Remaining socially connected, especially during the pandemic, helps to stimulate the mind, body, and soul. Barbara was concerned about leaving her house and looking for a way to stay in contact with older adults and reduce her isolation during COVID. You know, when she began participating in community engagements, virtual programming, the staff discovered her love of literature. Now she stays connected through our virtual book club and is even helping to run a weekly virtual Jewish folk story program. I love it. For $250 or just $20 a month for the next year, you'll be able to ensure that our staff can provide and enhance virtual programming such as music, art, cooking, demonstrations, or even exercise. There's so many ways that we can engage with our clients. I want to thank David Mackin. Thank you so much at $250 level. Thank you to Nancy Hennig. I also see a bid here from Alan Ellenby for $250. Thank you guys very, very much. Okay, our final level this evening is $100. You know, it's often the little things that make the biggest differences to keep our residents and program participants safe and healthy during the pandemic. For $100, you can give CJE the ability to purchase 15 N95 masks for our housing residents, Holocaust survivors, and staff. Every $100 donation will help make sure that the programs like the ones that you saw in tonight's video and heard in the stories are able to continue and thrive. They do all the work, you just make a bid. That's that simple. So let's take a look here at all these bids coming in at $100. They're adding up so quickly. Thank you, thank you. This is just incredible. You know, as we wait for an update on how close we're going to get to our $100,000 goal, I think this is a good time to go ahead and select that frontline employee who is lucky enough to win a 2-night stay at the beautiful downtown Chicago hotel. Here we go. Thank you. All right, let's see who the lucky winner is. It is Katie Mensching. Congratulations to Katie, our lucky winner for a 2-night stay in downtown at a beautiful hotel. Excellent. Well, with that news, I also want to let you know that I just got an update here on how close we're reaching our goal. We are so close to reaching it. Thank you to everyone so much for all your donations tonight. It looks like we have raised $89,500, which is just fantastic. Your generosity is truly overwhelming. If you haven't had a chance to give, please remember that you still have time to do so. It is not too late. You can still give by any of the 5 ways that I mentioned earlier. The phone line is going to be open for the next 30 minutes, and we'll be continuing the Fund a Need online during this next week. You'll be receiving more information soon, and you'll see this initiative on Facebook and Instagram as well. Please be sure to donate. We'd love to exceed our 100,000 goal. Tell all your friends and all your family, because this is the time, and we would love to just exceed our goal here tonight. I really thank you guys so much for your time and attention and your generosity. We really are saving lives. Please stay with us for a few more moments to hear another moving performance from one of our frontline workers. And with that, thank you and blessings to you all.
Please welcome our final staff performer, Oliver Burke. He's worked at the Lieberman Center for the past 4.5 years as an environmental services worker. Oliver can often be seen and heard serenading the residents, our very own crooner.
She's wondering what clothes to wear. She puts on her makeup. She brushes her long blonde hair. And then she asks me, do I look all right? And I say, yes, you look wonderful tonight. We go to a party and everyone turns to see this beautiful lady who's walking around with me. And then she asked me, do you feel all right? And I say, yes, I feel wonderful tonight. I feel wonderful see the love light in your eyes, and the wonder of it all is that you just don't realize how much I love you. It's time to go home now, and I've got an aching head. So I give her the car keys, and she helps me to bed. And then I tell her, as I turn off the light, I say, my darling, you were wonderful tonight. Oh, my darling, you were wonderful tonight. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Vicki Pines, Chair of the Resource Development Committee. On behalf of CJE SeniorLife's Board of Directors and from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank you so much for joining us this evening. I know that many of us and our family members, mothers, fathers, aunts, uncles, cousins, bubbies, and zadies, have personally been helped by CJE. In fact, my motto is CJE is us. And now we're asking for your help for CJE. 3 things. 1, spread the word about what you've learned about CJE. If it's hard to remember, just know that CJE probably has a program for seniors or can answer just about any question you might have. Call us at 773-508-1000 and our experts will point you in the right direction, or go to www.cje.net. 2, become a volunteer and get involved, either working directly with older adults, delivering meals, making calls to the homebound seniors, teach a virtual class, or join next year's host committee for this event. We've been heavily into those things this entire COVID time. And of course, number 3, please donate what you can so that we may continue providing healthcare services, life enrichment programming, and caregiving support to our beloved seniors. We truly, truly appreciate your being here with us tonight to experience the incredible impact CJE can have on the quality of life of older adults. And now I would like to thank the CJE Resource Development staff, Stephanie Smerling, Vanessa Jones, Patty D'Alessandro, Teresa Montes, and the marketing staff, Carol Klein-Alexander, Nicole Bruce, Lana Korolova, Mary Keene, and Adam Lazar for all their hard work in putting this virtual event together. It doesn't happen without them. And if you know someone who couldn't join us, this recorded program will be on our website at cje.net, along with our virtual ad and tribute book. Take a look and share the page with your friends and family. And now it's time for us to say goodbye until next year's Celebrate CJE. Thank you, thank you, thank you.